So I'm Michael Duval. I'm with a Cleaner Tomorrow. We're a janitorial services company, and we've been in business for 10 years, serving the North Shore the entire time.
How has the events of the past month affected your work and the people around you?
It's been good and it's been bad, and we just take one day at a time. But what we've come across is we do residential services as well as commercial work. And as of late, we're suspending residential work and doing a lot more in the way of our commercial cleanings for businesses like apartment buildings and really transitioning into more of the disinfecting side of the business as opposed to the cleaning, which is, we've always done cleaning and we've always done disinfecting, but as of late, the demand for disinfecting has really grown. Right now, with the coronavirus being on top of mind of everybody, it's more important now than ever to disinfect because coronavirus spreads very easily from one person to the next. It's not the most contagious disease out there, but it is contagious, and somewhere to the tune of 2.5 people are infected by every one person that has coronavirus. The problem is that a lot of people that have coronavirus don't even know they have it. They're asymptomatic.
Right.
And so you may be somebody that can spread the disease to someone else even though you feel completely well. So that's why it's important to disinfect whether or not someone in your home or your office is known to be sick with COVID-19 or not. And really that's always been important because, we have influenza that goes around every year and we have the common cold that goes around. And so those pathogens that cause any infectious disease can easily transmit from one person to the next person. So we've got to make sure that we're doing an effective job of killing those pathogens. So in the past, when cleaners have come in to clean your office or your home, you may have seen them spray and wipe things down, and it looks good, and your house or your office smell great when they're done. But the problem with that is that that's cleaning, and that's not necessarily disinfecting. And the thing about contagious disease is, and pathogens, I should say, which are the germs that spread contagious disease, you need to disinfect them properly. So in order to do that, what you can do at your house is you can use a broad spectrum disinfectant, Lysol spray, bleach. There's so many different things that out there that will kill lots of different types of germs, but you have to know how to use them and use them correctly. So that means following the directions, read the label on the can. A lot of times what you'll see is something to the effect of spray the desired area for a minimum of 3 seconds, and then allow that chemical dwell time maybe somewhere to the tune of 2 or 3 minutes, maybe as much as 5 or 8 minutes, depending upon what the disinfectant spray is that you're using. So you have to leave it there. So you spray the surface, you leave it there, and you forget about it. You let those chemicals do their things. Don't wipe it down, because if you're going to wipe the surface and then go try to disinfect another surface, maybe you're going from a countertop to a doorknob, you could potentially spread those pathogens rather than neutralize them.
So I know you mentioned Lysol products. I know sometimes that's hard to come by right now. Are there any substitutes for that you could refer people to, or something that people can make themselves?
I don't know about the homemade disinfectants. I know there are several different things that are known to work well, such as bleach and hydrogen peroxide, and you can mix them with water to dilute them to the right amount. But I'm not a chemist,
Right.
and I don't manufacture my own disinfectants at home. So I know it's hard to get them right now, but to get a broad spectrum disinfectant is really important. Whether or not it's a homemade, you might need to do some research on your own to determine what to use. But I can tell you this: coronavirus is an enveloped virus. And what that means is it's got a lipid layer on the outside of the cells. Having a virus that has that envelope on it means that if you can break down the envelope, the lipid layer, then you kill the pathogen that causes coronavirus. And so it's pretty simple to break this pathogen down. My understanding is that just about any broad spectrum disinfectant will work. but you have to use it right. I'd like to mention the electrostatic disinfection. It's really the best thing out there right now, and a lot of people don't know about it. The problem is that not everybody has access to those electrostatic sprayers, but the companies that make them they're doing their best to get them pushed out, and I think that they're going to become more mainstream in the near future. And what those are backpack sprayers that hold your broad spectrum disinfectant in them, and they positively charge the tiny mist spray vapor particles that come out of it, so that they attach to the surfaces of the areas that you're trying to disinfect. And it really does a good job of completely covering those surfaces evenly and thoroughly, because those charged particles are a lot like a magnet, maybe like a hair on a balloon. They really stick to the surfaces. So if you're spraying maybe the side of a mantle, for example, or a table, those vapor particles will stick to the top of the surface and to the bottom of the surface. Whereas if you just use the hand sprayer, it might just drip off the top. This isn't a new technology. It's been around for a few years. And I learned about it a couple of years ago at a trade show. And at that time, it was pre-COVID-19.
Right.
And I looked at it and I said, wow, these machines are great, but they're expensive and there's not much demand for them, maybe in a school setting. Well, everything really changed in February, and now I completely see the need for them. And the great thing about it is the products that we use are completely environmentally friendly. They're safe for humans and pets. You can even use them in food prep areas. Not that I would drink the stuff. I have a partner who, when he brings all his groceries home from the grocery store, he even goes as far as to disinfect all the groceries. Probably the best way to go. But if you're going to do it at home on your own, I wouldn't recommend spraying that Lysol spray on your groceries. Just know that these germs can live on surfaces for, in some cases, several days. So be careful with how you handle groceries, especially.
From what you've heard, is there a difference between, say, like a metal surface and a plastic surface or wood? Is there a different amount of time that COVID lives on those type of surfaces?
There's a lot out there right now on this, and I've heard really conflicting things, and anywhere from several hours up to even a day on a cardboard box, whereas your plastics especially, they live much longer, and your metals, they live much longer. As far as I know, it can be up to 5 days. That's what I've been told. Yeah, it's definitely something to bear in mind even when you're checking your mail. The best thing to do is just to really be thorough in your disinfecting of what you're bringing into your house. Limit those items as much as you can, which we're probably doing now for the most part anyway, because hopefully people are only going to the grocery stores, right, and maybe doctor's appointments. Some of this might be beating a dead horse for some people that have heard it over and over again, but you can't say it too much. When you're washing your hands with soap and water, you're washing away those pathogens, and they're going down the sink, down your drain. And so when you're done with washing your hands, don't forget to disinfect your sink and your faucet and everything that you've touched before you washed your hands. If you were to go to mass.gov, there's information there. So it's sort of all over the place right now. But I personally would trust the CDC more than anything else. We have a website as well. It's COVID Killa, KILLAH.com. And we're posting things there to keep our clients informed. So feel free to check us out at covidkilla.com. We service a lot of different businesses throughout the North Shore. One of those businesses is Wayside Trailers in Peabody. The owner, who I've known for about 10 years, his name is Don Kelly, passed just 2 weeks ago from complications related to coronavirus. And Don is really just an inspiration to small business owners. He's really served as a mentor to me when I was first getting started, and he's been my client all along. And it's really, really sad to lose him. He was a philanthropist and just the salt of the earth. It's scary because it's sitting close to home now. He's right here in Peabody. We service his property. They've closed down for a couple of weeks, and hopefully they'll be reopening soon.
From what we had been talking about, and then that, I mean, it kind of drives home the point that we do have to be as diligent as possible. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. It's tough not to be able to come together around those moments, but
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely difficult. I mean, I have an employee whose his dad lives in New York, and dad died 2 weeks ago from nothing related to coronavirus, but he can't even go there to support his mom right at the moment. It's just too unsafe. And my mom, she lives in a nursing home, and there are 5 or 10 cases of coronavirus that they know of in her nursing home. And you know, the scary thing is when it spreads into a nursing home, those are the people that are really high risk, and we worry the most for them.
definitely. I mean, that was the situation with one of my grandparents. At least we have like FaceTime and stuff like that to be able to, or like Zoom, like we're doing now, to be able to connect with family members and close friends.
Yeah, thank God for technology. We have it now, and if this had happened 20 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do these Zoom meetings. The coronavirus has certainly really magnified an aspect to janitorial services that hasn't been under a microscope in such a way in a long, maybe ever, and that's the disinfecting side of things. I mean, whenever you come in and clean a building, you can see the outcome of it. You can tell that it's been cleaned. It smells good. It looks good. But the problem is that you can't see these pathogens that cause disease. So you have to trust that the person you're working with is going to be thorough, and they're going to use the right products and techniques. So really, really important for especially these cleaning companies out there to educate their employees as well as their customers on how to properly disinfect. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's good and some of it's bad. And my advice to everyone would be to just check the sources.